Is the screen visible, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Let me just adjust the volume here. Okay. We are discussing about the module 4, manipulation, data manipulation operations and instructions. And the next topic in module 4 is data transfer operations. When we come across the word data transfer operations, that means they are meant to transfer the data. The operations that are meant to transfer the data, they are called as data transfer operations. Okay, the data transfer instructions involve transfer of the contents, that is transfer of the data from one memory location to another memory location. You are moving the data transfer means you are moving the data, or you are copying the data from one memory location to another memory location. That is, here in PLC language, we say that the data is moved from one register or from one word to another word. That is nothing but as good as saying the data is moved from one memory location to another memory location. You are copying the data. The figures 1a and b show the concept of moving numerical excuse me, no, numerical binary data from one memory location to another. Here we see in this figure, here they have shown n7:20. N7 means it is the file number, 20 means it is the word number. So n7 means it is the file, 20 means it indicates the word. Word means it is 16-bit data. In n7:20, how many bits are there? It's a word, so it is 16 bits. Then this is the original data stored in registers n7:30 and n7:20. In the n7:20, these are the 16 bits that are stored, and in n7:30, these are the 16 bits that are stored. This is the original data before data transfer operation takes place. Okay. Then data transferred from register n7:30 to n7:20. Data is transferred from n7:30 to n7:20. That means from this memory location to this memory location. It is just as good as a backward movement, because n7:20 is besides or behind the n7:30. Right? That means we are copying the data from n7:30 memory location to n7:20 memory location. Then what happens to n7:20 data which is already present? The data which is already present will be overwritten. The data which is already present will be overwritten. This is called as overriding of the data. That means instead of storing this 4 zeros, 4 ones, 4 zeros, 4 ones in the n7:20, it will store the value of n7:30. That is 1100, 1110, 0110, 1110. This data will be stored in n7:20. As we can see in the next figure, data transferred from register n7:30 to n7:20. What is the data in n7:30? 1100, so it is 1100, 1110, 1110, 0110, 0110, 1110, 1110. The data has been moved from n7:30 to n7:20. Then you may ask me, what happens to the data which is already there in n7:30? What we have done, we have moved the data from n7:30 to n7:20, or we have copied the data from n7:30 to n7:20. Now, what is meant by copying operation? Copying operation is the one in which the original data, whether it will change the original data. When something is copied, let's say you are copying the notes from your friend to you, to your notebook, you are copying something. So whether the original data will change, the original data will change?
No, sir.
It will not change, is it not? So the original data will not change, it will remain as it is. That is what it is shown here. In n7:30, the original data will remain as it is. That is 1100, 1100, 1110, 1110, 0110, 0110, 1110, 1110. We are just moving the data from n7:30 to n7:20. The original data will not change, but the destination will change. If the destination has the original some other data, it will be overwritten, and the new data will be stored into the destination register. This register from where we are moving, it is called as source, and the one into which we are moving is called as the destination. That means we are moving the data from source to the destination, correct? We are moving the data from source to the destination, right? Figure 1a shows the original data which are in registers N7:30 and N7:20. Figure 1b shows that after the data transfer has occurred, register N7:20 now holds a duplicate of the information that is in register 7:30. It is consisting of a duplicate data. Now there are two data. One is the original data which is in the source. Then the same is copied into the destination. We have duplicate values. The previously existing data stored in register N7:20 have been replaced with those of N7:30. That means we have stored the data which is in N7:30 in N7:20. That means whatever previous data was there in N7:20, that has been replaced with the value that is there in N7:30. This process is referred as writing over the existing data. Writing over the existing data or overriding the data. There is already some data in the register. We are writing some other data into this register so that whatever data was there previously, that will be overwritten. That will be overwritten. That means previously data, whatever was there, that will be erased, that will be deleted, and new data will be stored. Yes, block formatted move instruction to perform the data movement operations. SLC 500 controller, they make use of block movement instruction. It is a block formatted move instruction in the form of a block to move the data from source to destination. The move instruction is used to copy the value in one register or word to another. That is, it moves the value from source register to destination register or from source location to destination location. This instruction copies data from source register to destination register. The next figure shows an example of the move instruction. The operation of the program is as follows. In the next figure, we can see the move instruction here. This is the move instruction. It is in the form of a block. Okay. Now, when the switch is closed, this examine if closed instruction, this is true, right? The switch is closed. That means this instruction becomes true. The move instruction, the move block instruction becomes true. When it becomes true, when it executes, the value will move from N7:30 to N7:20. The value will move from N7:30 to N7:20. That is from source to destination. N7:30 is here. N7:20 is here. We can move the data from N7:20 to N7:30 also. But it need not be always moving the data from N7:30 to N7:20. It can be from any memory location to some other memory location. Can move the data from any memory location to some other memory location. This is called as the integer table, N7:integer table, right? When the rung is true, input switch A is closed. The value stored at the source address N7:30 is copied into the destination address N7:20. The value which is stored in N7:30 will be copied into the destination address N7:20. When the rung goes false, let us say here in this figure, the rung goes false or the switch is opened, then what will happen? Can you make a guess, students? If the switch is open, the rung becomes false. What happens to the values in source and destination? The value in source has already been copied to destination. What happens to the value in destination? Whether it will change? Whether the value in destination will change or will remain same?
Will not change.
Will not change. Very good. It will not change. It will remain same because the value in destination is storing the original data. It is not harmed by anything, so it will remain the same. Okay. When the rung goes false, input switch A opened, the destination address will retain the value unless it is changed elsewhere in the program. If Only it is changed by some other instructions or by the same instruction. If it is changed somewhere else in the program, only then the value in this register in this 7:20 memory location will change. Otherwise, it will not change after the switch is opened or after the rung has become false. The source value remains unchanged and no data conversion occurs. Right? This is one more point. The source value will also not change. Right? The source value will not change. The destination is also not changing. That is one point. After it has been copied, whatever copied value is there, that only will remain. Okay. Then source value, it will also not change. It will also remain the same. The source value remains unchanged and no data conversion occurs. So this is the SLC 500 PLC block formatted move instruction. This is in the form of a block. The move instruction is in the form of a block, hence it is called as SLC 500 block formatted move instruction. Next in operations friends, move with mask. That is MVM. In short, it is called MVM, move with mask instruction. There is slight change with that of MOV instruction. The MOV mask move with the mask instruction has a slight change with that of the MOV instruction because a mask word is involved in the move. There is a mask word which is involved in this move operation, and there is a slight difference between the commonly used MOV instruction and the MVM, that is move with mask instruction. Let us see what is a change. The data being moved must pass through the mask to get to the destination. The data whichever is being moved from source to destination, it has to pass through the mask. It has to pass through the mask. Only then it can be copied into the destination. Then what is meant by mask here, or what is meant by masking? Masking refers to the action of hiding a portion of a binary word before transferring it to the destination. We are hiding certain portion of the binary word. That means, suppose say there is source, there is destination. Destination has some value, source has some value. Before the data is copied from source to destination, then you are performing the masking operation. To whichever value is 0, suppose say the value is 1100 in the source. In the destination it is 0011. Okay, then you are using the data F. Okay, that means the mask is F1111. I'll come to that. I'll explain with the figure. Then when you use the mask as 1111, whatever data is there in the destination, that will be entirely changed with that value of the source, because you are masking with 1111. Right? Wherever it is 1111 in the mask, whatever source value is there, that will be copied into the destination. If say somewhere some bits are 0, suppose instead of the mask having 1111, if it is 1100, what is the value in source? 1100. Mask value is also 1100. Right? Destination value, wherever it is 11 in the mask, the value, right? The value will be changed. That is 11 will be 11 only in the destination, right? Because the source is 11, the first 2 bits will be 11. Now what about the second 2 bits? 00. But the destination is 11. Because the mask is 00 at those particular bit positions, the destination will remain the same, that is 11 only in the, that is the third and fourth position. I'll come to that. I'll explain with the example, then you'll understand. The operation of a mask word is as follows. The pattern of characters in the mask determine which source bits will be passed through to the destination address. The pattern determines which source bit will be passed to the destination. The bits in the mask are set to 0 that do not pass the data. If the bits in the mask are 0, that means the destination will remain as it is. The destination data will not change if the mask bits are zeros. Wherever the mask bits are 1, the destination data will change with that value of the source. Okay, it's an important point. Only the bits in the mask that are set to 1 will pass the source data to the destination. Bits in the destination are not affected when the corresponding bits in the mask are 0. The bits in the mask are 0. Whatever destination bits are there, they will remain the same. They will not change. The MVM instruction is used to copy the desired part of a 16-bit word by masking the rest of the value. The MVM instruction is used to copy from the source to the destination. Only the whichever bits are required, it will copy those bits, and whichever bits are not required, right? If the mask bit is made 0, then the destination bit will be as it is. It will not change. Wherever the mask bits are 1, only those corresponding destination bits will change with that value of the source. Otherwise, they will remain as the same as that they were originally. Okay. Are you following here, students? Are you following here?
Yes,
Students?
sir.
Okay, right. The next figure shows an example of a mask move instruction, MVM instruction, as we can see in this instruction. Here we are closing the input switch. When the input switch is closed, this is exam if closed, this will be closed, right? The instruction becomes true, the ladder rung becomes true, the ladder rung becomes true, right? Instruction MVM instruction, mask move instruction becomes true. Then in the source we are having B3:0, that is file 3 word 0. Its data is 1010, so it is alternating. Okay, this is in the source. Okay, then what is there in the mask? Mask is B3:1, that is file number 3 B3 word number 1. Its value is FF0F. That means F means 15. In hexadecimal, F means 15. 1111. Can keep your calcium hex mode and then convert it into binary. You will get it as 1111. Keep your calcium hex mode, press F, then convert it into binary. You will get it as 1111. The binary equivalent of hexadecimal F is 1111. Then F, one more F is 1111. Then we have 0, that is 4 zeros. Then one more F, that is 1111. This is the mask, FF0F. This is the value stored in mask. Then what is the value in destination? 1010. It is also alternating. 1010. It is alternating here. Here it is 1100, 1010. Okay. This is a destination B3:4. That is a file number B3, word number 4. Before instruction is true. Before instruction is true. Okay. Then once this MVM instruction executes, then what will happen? Here you can see 1010. In the destination also it is 1010, because the mask bits are 1 here, 1111. So they will remain, or they will change to destination source bits 1010. Destination is 1100. It will change to 1010. The next bits, mask bits are 1111. Source bits are 1010. Destination is 1100. This will change to 1010. The destination is changing to the value of the source, because the mask bits are 1. Next you can see the mask bits are 0000. Here destination is 1100. It will remain same, 1100 only. It is unchanged. It is unchanged. It will not change. Okay. Then the next bit is 1010. 1010 in the source. In mask it is 1111. Destination 1100. So the destination 1100 will change to 1010. 1010. Are you understanding the concept here, students? Are you understanding the concept here? Mudabbira?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Any questions up till now? Demani Patil?
So explain mask FF0F.
Okay, I'll explain that. Fine. See here. Now, what is the source? 1010, right? 1010, 1010, 1010. This is the source. Your original data in some other memory location. Let us say you are moving the value from X memory location to Y memory location. For example, right? You are moving the value, that is 1010, 1010, 1010, 1010. This is the value which you are moving from X memory location to Y memory location. Okay. Now, when you are moving the value from X to Y memory location, it has to pass through this mask. What is the mask? It is B3:1 memory location. In that memory location, the value of the mask is 1111, 1111, 0000, 1111. This is the value of the mask. Following. Now, if this is the value of the mask, then wherever the mask bit is 1, now here the first 4 bits are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. The destination is 1, 1, 0. This is in Y memory location. Let us say in X memory location, this is the value, the first one. And the mask value is this, second one. Third value is what we want to store in the Y memory location. For example, in the Y memory location. Okay. The destination, that is in the Y memory location, the already present data is 1100, 1100, 1100, 1100. This is already there in Y before copying the data from X to Y. Okay. Now I want to copy the data from X to Y through the mask. Through the mask. Now, what is the advantage of using the mask is wherever the mask bits are 1, the destination bits will be changed with the value of that of source. Now you can see here the first 4 bits of mask are 1, 1, 1, 1. What is the value of destination? 1, 1, 0, 0. This will be changed to value of source. Value of source is 1, 0, 1, 0. Therefore, in the destination in the Y memory location, it will be changed to 1, 0, 1, 0. The next 4 bits are 1, 1, 1, 1. Here in the source, it is 0, 1, 0, 1. Then the destination will also change to 0, 1, 0, 1 because the mask bits are 1, 1, 1, 1. Yes. Then the next 4 bits 1, 0, 1, 0. In the source, this I have to copy to Y. Okay. It has to pass through the mask. Mask bits are 0, 0, 0, 0. Now this 1, 0, 1, 0 will not be copied into Y. Why? Because the mask bits are 0. Wherever the mask bits are 0, the whatever is there in source, that will not be copied into Y. That will not be copied from source to destination. Whatever previous data was there in the destination, that will remain the same. What is the previous data in the Y memory location? 1, 1, 0, 0. This will remain the same because the mask bits are zeros. The next 4 bits, they are ones, mask bits. Therefore, whatever source bit is there, that will be copied into destination. Destination previous data was 1, 1, 0, 0. Now the mask bits are all ones here, 4 ones. Therefore, the source data, that is 1, 0, 1, 0, will be copied into destination 1, 0, 1, 0. Now it is clear here? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The figure shows an example of a mask move instruction, MVM instruction. This instruction transfers data through the mask from source address B3:0 to destination address B3:4. Now the important thing is that here, whether you use X memory location or Y memory location, this is an example in PLC, but if you want to explain in normal language, in common language, you can take one as X, another one as Y, so that it is easy for you to understand. But when writing, you write it as B3:0, then mask FF0F, destination B3:4. The same thing as there in PLC. For your understanding purpose, you can take it as one memory location as X, another memory location as Y, and then you can try to understand the concept. But when writing the answers in the test or in the examination, you have to write it in the PLC terminology only, in the PLC language only. Okay. The operation of the program we have explained. The mask may be entered as address. Here the mask what we are using is FF0S. It is whether binary or in hexadecimal. FF0F. It is in hexadecimal. Yes or no? FF0F. It is in hexadecimal. Hexadecimal means we write 0 to 9, all the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up till 9. Then next 6 digits will be A to F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so we are using totally 0 to 15. 0 to 9 we are writing as it is. This is decimal digits 0 to 9. But after 9 it will be A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, that is from 10 to 15. So totally it is from 0 to 15 we are representing as 0 to 9 and A to F. 0 to 9 is decimal, then A to F is hexadecimal. Hence we are calling it as hexadecimal numbers or hexadecimal representation. Okay. That is the FF0F memory location that we are using for the mask is in hexadecimal or it is the memory location. When there is a 1 in the mask, data will pass from the source to the destination. Wherever there is 0 in the mask, data and the destination will remain as it is in the last state. Status in bits 4 to 7 are unchanged due to zeros in the mask. If we check this destination, that is Y here, as I explained, the bits number 3 to 0, they are changed. Bits number that is 15 to, this is 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. 15 to 8, they are changed. Only the bits from 7 to 7654, they are unchanged. All the bits remaining are changed. Okay. Status in bits 0 to 3 and 8 to 15 are copied from source to destination, and the MBM instruction is true. The mask must be the same word size as the source and the destination. Whatever mask you are using, the mask memory location, this should be having the same size as that of the source and destination. Suppose the size of the source is 16 bits, it's one word. The mask should also be 16 bits. Suppose the size of the source and destination is 2 bits, 32 bits, right? The size of the mask should also be 32 bits. The size of the source is 8 bit, okay, and size of destination is also 8 bit. Then the size of the mask should also be 8 bits. Fine. The mask must be same word size as the source and destination. Next is bit distribute instruction, BTD, bit distribute instruction. The bit distribute instruction is used to move the bits within the word and from one word to another word. Is used to BTD instruction, bit distribute instruction is used to move the bits within one word, within the same word, within the same memory location, or to move the bits from one word to another word. On each scan, when the rung that contains a BTD instruction is true, the processor moves the bit field from the source word to the destination word. That is, once the scanning process, in the scanning process, the rung becomes true or the instruction becomes true, the processor moves or the PLC moves the bit from source to the destination. Bits are lost if they are more than the size of the destination. Let us say the destination size is 8 bits, 16 bits, and the size of the source data is 32 bits, right? You are copying the data which is of 32 bits into the register, into the destination which is of 16 bits. Okay, whatever the upper bits are there, they will be truncated or they will be lost. Upper 16 bits, only the lower 16 bits will be stored into the destination. Okay, lower 16 bits will be stored into the destination. Fine. The upper 16 bits will be lost because it cannot copy the data which is of size more than the source. The destination size is, say, 16 bits. The source size, the data what you are copying is 32 bits into the register which is of only 16 bits. The bits which are more than 16 bits, they will be lost, and only the least significant data, the lower 16 bits, will be stored into the destination. Clear? The bits are not wrapped to the next higher word. That is what it is. So the bits will be lost. To move data within a word, enter the same address for the source and destination. If you are moving the data within the same word, right, from within the same word only, within the same 16 bits, we are moving from some memory location to some other memory location, then the main memory location will remain the same. It will not change. What I mean to say here is, look into this figure. This is bit distribute instruction, BTD. Here the address of the memory location is N70:22. N70:22 is the memory location. What we are moving here, the source bit, it is the bit number 3, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the bit number source, which is marked with the pointer here. N source bit N70:22/3. Okay, that is here N70:22/3. This is the 22 file number, then word number is 22, then bit number is 3. Right, file number is N70, word number is 22, bit number is 3. This is how it has to be read. What is the size of the, that is data? It is of 6 bits. Length of the data is 6 bits. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 101, 101, 6 bits. This has to be moved from the 3rd bit position to 10th bit position. Destination is 10th bit. Destination bit is 10th bit. Which is the 10th bit? Start counting from first. You have to start from 0, not 1. Right? It starts from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here it is 10. 10th bit. Destination bit is N70:22/10. This is the 10th bit. Okay. So in this 10th bit, whatever data is there in the source, that will be copied here. 101, 101, 101, 101. That is from the 10th bit to the next 6 bits, because here the length of the data is 6 bits. Okay, so it is 101, 101. That will be copied here. Okay, from the 10th bit to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. From 10 to 15, 6 bits. Fine. This is moving data within the word. The memory location will remain same. It is N70:22 only. As you can see, a source memory location is N70:22. Destination memory location is also N70:22. It is same. Okay. Then next here in the next figure, what you are seeing is you are moving the data from N7:20 to N7:22. That is N7:20 is one memory location. It is a different one. Then N7:22 is some other memory location, which is one word, N7:22. That means you are moving the data from bit 3 position. Source bit is 3 in N7:20, 0, 1, 2, 3 here. Okay. What is the size of the data? 10 bits. Length is 10 bits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 bits. Right. These 10 bits you are moving from the source bit third position, third bit, to the destination fifth bit in N7:22. Fifth bit in N7:22 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from 5 to 10 bits. That means it goes from 5 to 14. 5 to 14. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. The 10 bits will be copied into these positions. Fine. Are you following here, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. To move data within a word, enter the same address for the source and destination. The source data will remain unchanged, but the instruction writes over the destination with the specified bits. The same point, the source data will remain unchanged. The source will not change, only the destination will change after performing the copying operation, or after the transferring of the data, or after the moving of the data. Move instruction used to change the preset time of a timer. This is also one more interesting instruction. Move instruction used to change the preset time of a timer. In the next figure, we can see a program which makes use of the move instruction to create variable preset timer values. What is the normal value in the preset?
Sir, not audible.
That means 15, 15, 16, 17. Say the accumulated final value is say 30. Then it will count up till 30. Then it will stop. I'll come to that point. You can see here in this figure. So this is the figure which explains the move instruction. 10 seconds means it is normally open. Then when you keep it to 5 seconds, the switch becomes closed. Try to understand the program here. 10 second is when you keep it to 10-second position, it is open position of the switch. When you keep it to 5-second position, the switch becomes closed. That means 10-second position is open. That is rung 2. Here it is SS1. This is SS1 switch, rotary switch. This becomes true. Examine if open. Examine if open. This becomes true because this is normally open 10 seconds. Yes, as it becomes true, the rung becomes true here. Then move instruction, that is move source value to destination. What is the value in source? 10. This will be moved to if I
Sir,
press the
your voice is breaking, sir.
voice is breaking. 1 minute. I'll just check. 1 minute. Just hold on, please. I'll see.
Now it is okay, students? Nimani Patil, now it is okay? Nimani Patil? Mudabbira? Mudabbira? Are you here, students?
Sir, not audible.
Not audible? 1 minute. I'll just...
Yes.
Now it is audible, Nimani Patil?
Yes, sir, audible, sir. Voice is very low.
Voice is low. 1 minute. Let me check. Shall I increase the volume?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. It's something. Now it is fine?
Yes, sir, fine.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, explain in beginning.
Okay,
Not-
okay, fine. Okay, fine. You want me to explain in brief?
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'll do that. So SS1, here what will happen? I'll just explain this program. It is very simple. So first this SS1 executes. Here it is 10 seconds. It will copy from source to destination. Then if we are pressing the PB1 switch, this examine if close, this will close. This timer instruction will start to, it will start, enable bit is 1. Then it preset value what is stored here, it is 10. Okay. So preset value will become 10 now. It will start, accumulated value will move from 0 to 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it will start performing the timing operation. It will move from 0 to 10. Once it reaches 10, the done bit will become 1. Once the done bit becomes 1, T4 colon done, the PL1 pilot light or the lamp will glow. Then next position, if we are keeping the rotor switch to 5-second position, if you are keeping the rotor switch to 5-second position, then it will be closed. It will be closed here. So in this 5-second switch, it is closed here. Then the third rung will become true. Third rung will become true. When the third rung becomes true, this examine if open closed, it is true. The third rung becomes true. Then whatever value is there in source, that will be copied to destination. 5 seconds will be copied from source to destination. 5. Okay. Then once if you switch on the PB1 switch, if you press the PB1 switch here, this is becoming true. The that is PB1 examine if close becomes true, the instruction becomes true. Then now it will start to preset value is now 5 seconds. It will start accumulating value will go on changing from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up till 5. Once the value 5 is reached, the done bit will become high. Once the done bit becomes high, the pilot light will glow and this lamp will glow. Okay, fine. So this is the program which shows the move instruction used to change the preset time of a timer. Preset means initially it is 0 as you can see here, but you can make it change to some other value. You can make it 5 or 10 or 20, whatever it is, that value you can change it. That is what is the meaning of changing the preset time of a timer. Operation of the program is as follows. The same thing I explained. When select a switch is in 10-second position, rung 2 is true and rung 3 is not true. As a result, value 10 is stored at source. Then N7 colon 1 is copied into destination T4 colon 1 dot preset. Therefore, preset value of timer T4 colon 1 will change from 0 to 10. When push button PB1 is closed, there will be a 10-second delay period before the pilot light is energized. Similarly, when the selector switch is in 5-second position, rung 3 becomes true and rung 2 does not become true. As a result, the value 5 is stored at source address. N7 colon 2 is copied into destination T4 colon 1 dot preset. Closing push button now will result in 5-second time delay period before the pilot light is energized. Similarly, we have the move instruction used to change the preset count of a counter. This is the preset count of a counter where the counter preset value is used to change. If you look into this diagram, here LS1, this is the limit switch. These are the different switches, normal switches. A, B, C, we have 3 switches. Okay. Now let us say we want to change the preset value of the counter. It is up counter. Now when the item A comes, the item is moving on the conveyor belt. Okay, when the item is moving on the conveyor belt, then it is placed onto some compartment. It is placed on some compartment after it is moved away from the conveyor belt. Fine. Now, as it has to be placed in the conveyor belt, suppose say that position A, the switch A is meant to store some boxes, say 300 boxes, which are of different items. Then the switch B is for different items, say 150 items. Then the switch C is for 50 items of different type. That means A corresponds to switches for type A items, type B then different items, type C different items. Now when the switch A is closed, here this is examine if closed becomes true, then the source value is 300, it will move from source to destination, right? That is from N7:1, it is moved to C5:1 dot preset, it will become 300. Okay, so when this becomes 300, now if the limit switch is closed, once it reaches the particular current value, limit switch LS1 is closed, then the preset value here it will be 300. It will be 300 because the preset value is changed here. So preset value is 300. Now it will start C5:1 dot preset. This is for this counter C5:1 preset. It will count from 0 to 300. Once it counts, done bit will be high. Done C5:1 done bit means it is full. The items are full on the conveyor belt. Then the lamp will glow. Similarly, when switch B is closed, there are 175 items. The count value 175 will be stored from source to destination C5:1 dot preset. So here C5:1 preset value becomes 175. Once the LS1 switch becomes closed, then it will move from, it will start counting from 0, 1, 2, 3 up till 175. Once it reaches 175, the done bit will become high. Once the done bit becomes high, then it is full, items are full, the lamp will glow. Similarly for the next items, that is 50 items. Okay, that is for the switch C. Suppose in between if we want to reset the operation, then the reset switch is pressed. Because of the reset switch is pressed, what will happen here? Whatever value is there, that will reset to 0. Whatever value is there, that will reset to 0. Okay, the accumulated value will reset to 0. Okay, so this is how this program works in order to change the preset value of the counter using the move instruction. I hope this program is clear here, students. Is this program clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. The operation of the program, that is what I explained, the LS1 switch, right, and counts the number of parts moving on a conveyor line onto a storage rack. There are 3 different types of products. The storage rack has 300 boxes of product A, 175 boxes of product B, and 50 boxes of product C. Okay. There are 3 switches, that is selectors, momentary switches, they are called, to select the desired preset. Normal switches to select the desired preset counter value depending on items A, B, or C being manufactured. A reset button is provided to reset the accumulated count to 0. A pilot lamp is switched on to indicate when the storage rack is full. Then the program is constructed so that normally one of the 3 switches will be closed at any one time. This is important. In these 3 switches, any one will be pressed at one time. Okay, if suppose say all the 3 switches are pressed at a time, then which will be considered? We will be considering, or it will be considering, the switch which is closed recently. The switch which is closed recently, that will be considered, and the remaining will not be considered. Suppose A, B, and C, all 3 switches are pressed at the same time, then let us say C is pressed last. It is pressed very recently. Then C switch position will be considered. Other switch positions A and B will not be considered. Okay. If more than one of the preset counter switches is closed, the last value is selected. Then the next concept is of the file. As you have come across the file operation, you might have come across in C language when you have studied in your first year. A file is nothing but a group of data items or a group of data elements, right? That is from one starting memory location to some other destination memory location. A set of items, a set of data elements, that is called as a file. A file is a group of related consecutive words in the data table that have a defined start and end and are used to store the information. In some instances, it may be necessary to shift complete files. What may be necessary is we have to shift the complete file from one location to some other location, or we have to move the file data into the Word, or it may be necessary to move the Word data into the file. Okay, all these different options are there to move the data from file to word, or from word to file, or from file to file. Such data shifts are termed file to file shifts. File to file shifts are used when the data in one file represent a set of conditions that must interact with the programmable controller program several times and must remain same for each operation. That means, let us say there are some set of items in a file, and we are using them, and again after usage also the data remains same. That means the file data is not affected, it will remain the same. Suppose say we want to change the file data has to be changed, then we have to use some other file where we are changing or altering the data, and that data which is altered, that is in the second file, not in the original file number 1. Are you following here? The file number 1, if you want to change, you just copy it in some other memory location, and that file number 2 you change it and make alterations as and how you require that. Okay? Because the data within this file must also be changed by the program action, a second file is used to handle the data changes, and the information within that file is allowed to be altered by the program. The data in the first file, however, remain constant and therefore can be used many times. The data in the first file remains same, it will not change, and it can be used as many times as required. We are going to change only the data in the file number 2. Other types of data manipulation used with file instructions include word to file and file to word moves, as illustrated in the next figure. As you can see in the next figure here, this is the word data. This is moved, the data is from the word is moved into different file locations. The same word is copied into file location number 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. That is, we are moving the data from the word to the file. Similarly, we can move the data from one file to another file. We are moving here the data from file 1 word 1 to file 2 word 1, then file 1 second word to file 2 second word. Correspondingly, we are moving the data from one file to another file. This is called file to file movement. Then file to word movement, we are moving the data from file to word. So this is from file to word, like this, from the first location in file to word, then after some time we are moving the second word in file number to the word, then like this we are moving the all the file data from their respective positions to the word. Other types of data manipulation used with file instructions include word to file and file to word moves, as shown in the figure. Next instruction is file arithmetic and logic instruction. It is called as FAL. In short, it is called as FAL. Okay. FAL instruction is used to copy data from one file to another and to do file mathematical and logical operations. In the next figure is shown the FAL instruction. You can see in this figure the FAL instruction. This is how it looks. Then here there are various parameters. First one is the control, then length, position, mode, destination, expression. Then we have control bits, enable, done and error bit. Let us see the details of this FAL instruction, file arithmetic and logic instruction. The basic operation of the FAL instruction is similar in all functions and requires the following parameters and PLC file addresses to be entered in the instruction. Control is the address of the control structure in the control area of the processor memory. In the control area of the processor memory or in the PLC memory, whatever data we want to change, we wish to change, that is changed in the control area of the processor memory. There is some area in the PLC memory where we are going to alter the data. So that part is called as the control area of the PLC memory. The processor uses this information to run the instruction. This control area is used to run the instructions. The default file for the control is data file number 6. That is, the file number 6 is the default. By default, when you execute the FAL instruction, the control file data file number 6 will be selected by default. If you want, you can make it some other data file, but by default the data file 6 will be selected. The control element for the FAL instruction must be unique for that instruction and may not be used to control any other instruction. This control element for the FAL instruction, it is unique for that instruction. That control area is unique for that instruction itself. This control element, control parameter cannot be used for some other instructions. The control element is made up of 3 words. What are these 3 words? Bit 15 enable bit. The control word uses 4 control bits. Bit 15 is enable bit, bit 13 is done bit, bit 11 is error bit, and bit 10 is unload bit. Enable bit, we are familiar with it. If we are activating, then we are using the enabling bit. Done bit, we are also familiar. We have come across the done bit in timer and counter instructions. Once the operation is completed, done bit will become high. Error bit, will see this error bit and unload bit. What are these 2 bits? Length is the second entry and represents the file length. Whatever is the length of the file, that is nothing but the length parameter. As you can see in this block here, the length, it is a second parameter. It is used to indicate the length of the file. Okay. The maximum length possible is 1000 elements. Maximum length of the file is 1000 elements. That means we can enter the file number from 1 to 1000. Then position is the third entry and represents the current location in the data block that the processor is accessing. Position, it is a third entry, the third parameter. It shows the position of the data file that we are accessing in the PLC memory. Whatever file we are using in the PLC memory, that file position is indicated by this parameter position. It points the word being operated on. The position starts with 0 and indexes to 1 less than the file length. The position starts from 0 and it is moved up till 1 less than the file length. Okay, 1 less than the file length. Suppose the file length is say 1000, right? The position will be from 0 to 999 because it is starting from 0. If it starts from 1, then it will be from 1 to 1000. We generally enter a 0 to start and the beginning of a file. When the instruction resets, suppose if the instruction resets, then the file number, what will be the file position? Can anybody tell me? What will be the file position if the instruction resets? Mudabbira? Mudabbira, can you tell me what will be the file position if you reset the FAL instruction? Demani Patil?
0, sir.
0, very good. It will be 0. We generally enter a 0 to start at the beginning of a file. If you press the reset instruction, if you operate instruction reset, then it will reset the position to 0. Then next is the mode. Mode represents the number of file elements operated per program scan. How many files you are operating for one program scan, that is indicated by this mode parameter. There are 3 choices here. In the mode, one is all mode, numeric mode and incremental mode. Let us see these 3 mode types, that is all mode, numeric mode and incremental mode. All mode means for this mode you enter the letter A. If you are making the mode to all mode, you have to enter the letter A. What happens in this mode? The instruction will transfer the complete file of data in one scan. Whatever is there in one scan, all the files will be transferred or they will be moved from source to destination. The complete file of data will be moved in one scan. This is in the all mode. The enable bit will go true when the instruction goes true. The EN bit will go true when the instruction becomes true. This, when all the data has been transferred, done bit will become true. That we are very much clear, is it not? Once we move all the data, done bit will become true. This change will occur on the same scan during which the instruction goes true. This change will occur on the same scanning during which the instruction goes true. If the instruction does not go to completion due to an error, suppose say there is an error, there is some error in the transferring of data, then what will happen? The error bit will be made equal to 1. If the instruction does not go to completion due to an error in the transfer of data, just trying to store too large or too small a number. If you are storing a too large number, very large number or very small number, which you cannot fit into the register, which you cannot fit into the size of the register, then what will happen? An error signal will be generated. That is, error bit will become 1, ER bit, control bit, ER will become 1. The instruction will stop at that point and set the error bit to 1. The next type of mode is numeric mode. In the numeric mode, we enter the decimal value from 1 to 1000. Here, the file operation is distributed over a number of program scans. That means there are a number of scanning operations taking place because of the value that we are entering is from 1 to 1000. The value that we enter sets the number of elements to be transferred per scan. For one scan, how many file elements have to be moved from source to destination? That is selected by the value that we enter here. Okay, that the value that we enter in the numeric mode, it selects how many number of elements have to be transferred per scan. Okay. Then next is the incremental mode. For this mode, you enter the letter I. Here we are entering the letter I. I stands for incremental mode. The word itself will indicate incremental. Incremental means for every increment, first it will move the data from one word to another word, or from one file data to some other source to destination. Then it will increment that. It will take the next memory location position. It will move that data from that file location from source to destination. Then again it will increment. This is called as incremental mode. In the incremental mode, one element of data is operated on for every false to true transition of the instruction. The UL bit, unload bit controls whether the instruction will operate just on data in the current position, or whether it will index the position and then transfer the data. The unload bit will control what it is doing. It will operate whether the instruction has to operate only on the data in the current position, or whether it has to index, that is whether it has to increment the memory location and then transfer that data also. That is decided by the UL bit, unload bit. Then destination, this is the fifth entry, as you can see in this diagram. This is the destination is the fifth entry, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth entry, fifth parameter. Destination is to which memory location you are transferring the data. To which memory location you are transferring the data, that is indicated by the destination. In the fifth entry, it is a fifth entry and is the address at which the processor or the PLC stores the result of the operation. Data type specified by the destination address, it may be a file address or an element address. The data that we are moving into destination, it may be a set of values, that is a file, or it may be single value, a single data. Okay. Then last parameter here, it is the expression parameter. Expression is the last entry and contains addresses and operators that specify the source of data and the operations to be performed. Expression indicates what operations we require to perform, and these operations and the source of data on which operation has to be performed, that is indicated by the expression. The expression entered determines the function of the FAL instruction. The next figure we can see file to file copy using the FAL instruction. We can see in this figure file to file copy. This is N7:20, which is a source here. This is N7:20 is the expression. Right? In this expression, we are copying from this expression N7:20, that is the source is mentioned in the expression, and we are performing the move operation to the destination, that is N7:50. This is a destination N7:50. We are moving from source to destination. Correct? Then how many values we are moving? What is the length of the data? We are moving 6 values. 6 values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 values are moved from source to destination. Okay, that is the length is 6. Right? That is switch is closed, the rung becomes true. That is examine if closed instruction becomes true, because of which we are moving the value from source N7:20 to N7:50. This is the file which we are moving from N7:20 to N7:50. We have 6 values. The length is 6. Okay, that is the control element. Length is 6. Position is 0. So the first position is 0. Mode is all. What is the meaning of all? All means all the values will be scanned, or they will be moved from source to destination at one scan. In one program scan, all the values will be moved from source to destination. That is the meaning of all mode. Incremental mode, then one where we have numeric mode. Okay, all mode, numeric mode, and incremental mode. The operation of the program is explained here. When input A goes true, that is this input A goes true, the switch is closed. examine if close instruction becomes true. Data from expression n7:20 will be copied into destination n7:50. Length of the two files is set by the value entered in the control element word r6:1.len. This is going to set the length of the source and destination. In this instruction, we have also used the all mode, which means all of the data will be transferred in the first scan in which the FAL instruction occurs with the false to true transition of the rung. Whenever there is false to true transition of the rung, all the data elements will be transferred from source to destination. The DN bit will also come on in that scan unless an error occurs in the transfer of data, in which case the ER bit will be set. Done bit will be set once the transfer of data takes place. The done bit will be high. Then if there is any error in the transferring process, the error bit will become 1. It will be set. The instruction will stop the operation at that position, and then scan will continue at the next instruction. Then file to word copy. The next figure shows example of file to word copy function using the FAL instruction. For every false to true transition of the input A, the processor reads one word of integer file n29. We can see here in this figure, this is n29 is the source which is indicated by the expression. Destination is the word n29:5. n29:5. We are moving the value from first word 0 is first moved into this word position, and after some time word 1 is moved from this file to this word. Then next third word is moved, fourth, fifth, like this. In every movement we are moving the word. First move, second move, third, fourth and fifth move. Okay, we are moving the word from the file to the word. What is the length? It is 5. Length of the data transfer is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Mode is incremental mode. Incremental mode means for every increment we are incrementing the memory location and we are moving the particular word into the from the file to the word. Correct. Destination is n29:5. n29:5. Okay. This is the ladder logic program which shows the file to word copy operation. Are you following here, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The process starts reading at word 0 and writes the image into word 5 of integer file n29. The instruction writes over any data in the destination. That means whatever is there in the destination, that will be overwritten with the value in the word, with the value in the file. Okay. This is how it is used to indicate the file to word copy operation. Right. In today's class, students, we have discussed various topics, subtopics, such as starting from the data transfer operation. What is data transfer operation or data movement or data copy operation? We have illustrated these operations using various figures. Then block formatted move instruction, MOV instruction. This is block formatted move instruction, which is used to move the value into the integer table from n7:30 to n7:20. Then MVM instruction, that is move with mask instruction, which is used to mask. Wherever it is 1, the source data will be copied into destination. Wherever the mask is 0 bits, the destination will remain the same. It will not change to the value of the source. That's an important point that we have to remember for the MVM instruction. This figure is the one which illustrates the operation of move with mask instruction. Then the next is bit distribute instruction. These figures were used to indicate the data movement within a word and the data movement from one word to another word. Then the instructions which are used to change the preset time of a timer. Preset time of a timer, where we change the preset value from 0 to some other value. Then next is changing the preset value of a counter, where we change the preset value of the counter from some value to some other value. Okay, from 0 to some other value. Then what is a file? It is a group of consecutive words in the data table. that have a defined start and end and are used to store the information. Then later we have gone through the transfer of the data from word to file to file, and file to word. We have understood what is FAL instruction, file arithmetic and logic instruction, and its various parameters such as control, length, position, mode, destination, expression. Then we have also come across what is enable bit, what is done bit, what is error bit, and what is unload bit, UL bit. Then next operation under this is file to file copy, where we have illustrated the file to file copying operation here with this figure. Then file to word copy, this is the movement of the data from file to word. Okay. So any questions here, students? Any questions here on today's topics? Mudabira?
No, sir.
Any doubts? Any problem in understanding? Mudabira?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, fine. Nemani Patil?
No, sir.
Any questions? Anything not understood?
No,
Any
sir.
doubts? Clear, right? Today's topics?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. Then we'll continue with the next topics. That is compare instructions and other instructions are there that we'll take up in the Friday's class. Okay. Thank you.